So currently, but not currently reading. You know, the books that you start reading and then you put down and then you don't pick them up for maybe ever. Well, I do this quite often. I start reading a book, then decide I'm not in the mood for it, put it down, but it's still sort of hanging around in you currently reading list on Goodreads. So I created another list called currently but not currently reading, and I put them in there. And I currently have 9 books in this list. So in order to keep on top of this and sort of sort it out, I thought I would go through the list and film it, pretty much. So let's have a look. So first up we have The Glass Magician, which is number 2 in the Paper Magician trilogy by Charlie N. Holmberg. I think that's how it's pronounced. Now, I started this trilogy last year, I want to say, because The Paper Magician was 99p on Kindle. And I bought the rest of the trilogy. I enjoyed The Paper Magician, it was alright. Then I started The Glass Magician, and I put that down because Sienna, the main character, was frustrating me so much, because she's 21 years old, I think, and she's basically acting like a spoiled child, and I can't be doing with it, which is a shame because I really like the magic system, because the magic system is you sort of train to, it's sort of like a trade. So there are paper magicians, and I can't remember the names of them because it's been such a long time, but there are magicians that work with metals, so they're like the smiths and things, and it's really interesting. I think the world itself is really interesting, but Sienna is such a pain in the arse, and I just can't. So I think that one, I don't think I'm going to finish it, so I'm going to DNF that, so I'm going to remove that, and it's going to be, no, remove from bookshelves. Remove. It's gone. Next, Ash by James Herbert. This is number 3 in, I'm assuming, books that contain the man. He's like a paranormal expert, David Ash. Let's see, it's a bit of a beast, this one. Oh, this is it. Now, I started reading this, I know when I started reading this, I started reading this last Halloween. Was it Halloween or was it before Halloween? I started this at some point last year, and I read it because I wanted to read something spooky, and he's like the #1 chiller writer, but I just got so annoyed with the characters. Like, the actual spooky bits are spooky when they're there, but so far I am this far into it and there's not been so many. The relationships between the characters I don't like. There's a bit of insta-love, which I hate, and it's just sort of setting poor Ash up for heartbreak, because from the sounds of it, he's not had much luck in love, has told David, and James is setting him up with some other woman who is probably going to die. I mean, I don't know if I want to find out. I haven't decided. I don't know. But the actual idea behind the story is really interesting. I mean, it's set in Comric Castle, which is a real place, I think. I guess it's sort of like described as sort of like a home for members of important people, like, or royalty, who are not fit for the public eye, and they just sort of hide them away at this place. And he starts off at the beginning with a little note. It says, "All my stories begin with the premise, what if? This has never been more so than with Ash. However, let me plead that there are some basic truths among the fiction. Have fun deciding which or which." So throughout the book, this mentions famous people that have been at Comric Castle, people that have existed, and I started making a list. I don't know what I've done with it, so I could look up the people, and it was my mum that told me about this, and she said it was really interesting, and I want to finish it, but I just don't like the relationships between the characters. I want the spooky and the mystery, and I don't want the romance, and I don't know. I think this will stay on there for now. Next, Battle Royale by Koshun Takami. Now, I'm sure you all know Battle Royale. Where's my copy? Battle Royale. Here it is. I am this far through, and most of the students, I'm sure you already know the outline. If not, Battle Royale is set in Japan. Basically, the government has this system, they don't really have this system, but the government has this sort of program. I don't think it's officially official, but where they, every year or so or something, they take a group of students and pit them against each other. Basically, they have to fight to the last one standing, and that's basically what this book is. It is a junior high class that think they're going on a study trip, and they get gassed and taken to a place, I think it's an island, and they are fitted with like these collars and things so they can't run away, and they are told to fight to the last one standing in a battle royale style thing, and most of the students are already dead. I don't have far to go, and I do want to finish it. I don't even remember why I put it down. I put it down because I picked something else up. I don't know. But that one's staying because I do want to finish that because I have enjoyed it. I don't know why I put it down. I just put it down. I haven't picked it back up. Okay, so next, A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ozeki. This, I know why I haven't finished this, because this was a book I borrowed. It's an audiobook I borrowed, and I haven't finished it, and I don't think I'm ever going to finish the audiobook. But this story is basically about Ruth discovers a Hello Kitty lunchbox box on the shore of her beach home, and in it is a diary written by a young Japanese girl called Nao, and the story basically is split into two. It's told from Ruth's perspective, so Ruth was reading this diary, and then we also get to see the diary entries themselves, so part of the story is told from Nao's perspective, and it was really interesting. But then obviously I forgot to renew it and it went away, and I just haven't got it back, so I think I'm going to take it off, but it's going to go onto put it onto my to read pile, I think, and I will just get myself either an ebook edition or a physical copy, because I do really want to read it, want to finish it, so I'll put it on to read. Alright, next, Dark Places, I forgot to start this, by Gillian Flynn. This is, I have this on my Kindle, and I started reading it when I got it, but then I was reading The Girl in the Red Coat by Kate Hamer at the same time, and the Kate Hamer book was more interesting to me at the time, so I put this one down. And I think I do intend to finish it. I do intend to, but it just hasn't gotten to a bit that's proper gripped me yet. It's about a survivor. Her family, this little girl, her entire family was murdered, and her brother was charged with those murders, and he's currently sitting in prison. And then now suddenly some things are happening, and they think maybe it wasn't her brother that did it. We see the story from Libby, the girl who survived, now, and also we see sort of snippets from the past as well. So it sounds like it should be good, like it should be a good read, but I just haven't gotten to a part where I'm like, oh god, I've got to know what happens, I have to keep reading it, and I just put it down and I haven't picked it up. And so it's been a few months now since I've read that, but I do intend to finish it, so that can stay. In the Labyrinth of Drakes. In the Labyrinth of Drakes, number 4 in the Memoirs of Lady Trent by Marie Brennan. So basically, this was the series I read back in, I think it was March, April time, I want to say. And at the time there were only 3 books out. Now there's a 4th book out, and I was so excited. I pre-ordered it, I got it straight to my Kindle, it got delivered to my Kindle at midnight, and then I started it, and I am like, let's see how many pages I'm actually in. I think I'm only, oh bollocks, ow. Apparently I went straight back to the content, so I don't even know how far I am in that. So I don't know how far I am in that, so I think I'm just going to put that back onto my to read pile. Right, the next one, She-Wolves, The Women Who Ruled England Before Elizabeth by Helen Castor. This is a non-fiction book about women in history who sort of, I don't know if they actually ruled England or what, I don't even know, before Elizabeth. And by Elizabeth, we mean Elizabeth I, not current Queen Lizzie. And I started really interested in reading this. I don't usually read much non-fiction, but I'm really interested in reading it. It's just so hard to get through. At the beginning, there's all basically just, I don't know, just the writing's so hard to get through, and I really want to get through it, so I do want to sort of battle through it, but I think I'm going to put it on my to be read, because I'll just start it again from the beginning, and hopefully if I try again, maybe it'll get easier every time I try and attempt to read it, because I've attempted to get through it a couple of times. So yeah. Oh, this one's been on for a few months, and that is The Book of Lost Things by John Connolly. Oh god, let's have a look. This one. And I'm pretty much still near the beginning. I've been reading this since, the bookmark is the receipt from when I bought it, and I think I started reading it the day I bought it, 25th of September, so I've been currently reading this for a few months now, and I am this far into it. And this story follows, it's about a young boy who's lost his mother, so his dad is looking after him, and suddenly the books start to whisper to him, and he finds himself lost in another sort of fantastical world. And I think he's just about to enter that world, and that's as far as I am. So it sounds really good, and also this edition is such a nice edition to read because it's one of those really floppy ones, so it just falls open, there's no having to force it, which is really nice. So I do intend to finish that, so that can stay. And the final book on this list is The Muse by Jessie Burton. This only came out this year. I pre-ordered it. I really enjoyed The Miniaturist, and I really wanted to read this, so I pre-ordered it, I picked it up, super excited. I started reading it, and I am only 3 chapters in. I've read the first 3 chapters, and that is it. I've just put it down. But I think I started reading this before the Booktubeathon. I think that was what that was. I started reading it, then I put it down because I was planning for the Booktubeathon, and I didn't make it into my list for the challenges, so I just put it down and I haven't picked it up. And this is about, I don't even really know, like I didn't really know what The Miniaturist was about. The novel is about aspiration and identity, love and obsession, authenticity and deception. Apparently. But I'm only 3 chapters in, so I have not gotten to any of that yet. But I do definitely intend to finish this, but I don't know when I'll pick it up again. So what does that put me down to now? So I was 9 books on there, 9, and now I'm down to 5. And all of those, most of them, I do intend to finish. So that's it, guys. They are the books, were the books. Some of them no longer. Books I'm currently, but not currently, reading. So let me know in the comments below, guys, how many books you currently have on your currently but not currently reading list, and how many of them you actually intend to finish. So that's it from me, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I will hopefully see you in another video. Bye!